It wants some of my life essence before letting me in. Fine, it's only blood. Where in the... Who in the... What sort of boon is this, in such a place? Well, in the name of Hades, Olympus, are you there?
Olympus cannot hear you, Spawn of Hades, but I can. And I have for you a proposition. Assist with a quandary of mine, and benefit. Your response?
Almighty Chaos. I'm honored to make your acquaintance. What sort of quandary would concern the origin of all existence? And how do I fit in?
Time shall tell. But at present I have inferred that your response, in essence, was affirmative. Thus may our newly formed arrangement prove most interesting. Accept my mark and go, and later I shall open the abyss for you again. When I created life, I had my doubts. Would it invite more problems than it solved? I would be curious to see. Thus my experiment continues to unfold, its outcome yet uncertain.
Almighty Chaos, with your experiment so vast in scope, what can one individual achieve? The quandary you mentioned when first we met. What would you have me do?
Spawn of Hades, I ought to clarify I do not care for idle talk. Ask me no questions. Respond only when prompted, or when necessary in the absolute. But above all, do as you will. When you return to Shadow, I briefly sense your presence in the infinite abyss. So I have seen that the servant of the three fates found you in that hidden place. He relayed to you a secret, did he not? Respond.
You mean Moros? His secret was about the surface, about how I can survive up there. I know this goes against the Fates' designs, but Olympus needs me. And to achieve my task, I need them.
I see. As you may know, I am uninterested in the Fates having undue influence. Perhaps you may find a catalyst here for this incantation, whether they like it or not. To make the most of our arrangement, I bid you activate a certain artifact where you reside. Within the pitch-black facets of this standing stone are possibilities to be explored. I shall reveal how to see them all, but first... You have restored the standing stone where you reside, and now can see the possibilities within. Should you assist me in exploring my ability to determine outcomes like the fates themselves, I shall make it worth your while.
If you'll permit me, Almighty Chaos, I wish you to have this gift of nectar, in accordance with my family's custom among relatives and friends. None of this would have been possible if not for you.
Then I shall grant you this wish and the freedom to bestow upon me further gifts as you see fit, for I have familiarity with this custom of yours, and am prepared to reciprocate.
Whatever this is, it's remarkable, truly.
Usage of the pitch-black standing stone enables me to temporarily emerge from my abyss, and I thank you for that. I can observe more clearly both the outcome of your trial and all else. There was a recent moment when time briefly ceased to be, and I alone could tell. I believe this coincided with your confrontation with Chronos. Now you return to me, attempting to repeat the same outcome. Interesting. Welcome. Of the fates are said to bind both mortals and immortals alike. The course and outcome of all lives all preordained. Thus the sense of choice is merely an illusion. Do you believe this, Spawn of Hades? Respond.
I think the fates determine much about our lives. When and where we are born, for instance, and to whom. But I don't think they set every detail. And I know they're not weaving at all right now, because Chronos has them.
I see. For the most part, I concur with your assessment. I am the reason Chronos has them now. He asked me where to find them, and I decided to tell him. To verify such choices could be made without their influence. Now do you understand my quandary? Respond.
Oh no. Almighty Chaos, you were deceived. Chronos wished to find the Fates for his own gain. They were one of the only forces in this world powerful enough to stop him.
Yet they are not so powerful as they appeared. Nevertheless, I think you are correct. Chronos indicated his intentions were benign. I am unfamiliar with deceit and was misled. I remain quite displeased about this still. Recently I found myself unable to detect you much at all, and deduced that you must have completed your forbidden incantation. Thus the surface is laid bare to you. Perhaps I shall ask you to describe it to me sometime.
Almighty Chaos, I wish to exercise my freedom here by giving you this. Though I suppose you probably could have made it yourself.
This nectar that you offer me is quite an interesting substance. When I created the fabric of reality, I had a sense of the ways in which it could be used, but I did not necessarily anticipate all possible results, including this one. Once there was darkness all throughout the underworld, but now, Chronos works to reshape the realm to suit his preferences. However, there shall always be darkness here in this space, and I have made it visible to you.
Pure darkness. I'm grateful for this gift.
I cannot know what it is like to meet one's creator, but you may, and perhaps have. Your father is no longer in his residence. I sense much has changed, yet he is not far from there. Perhaps I shall assist you in locating him. Your ability to reach beyond the boundaries that the Fates placed upon you proved inspiring to me. After some consideration, I discovered how to call upon you even from the surface of this world. I find it rather interesting there. I sensed the growing influence of the goddess Nyx, as though my daughter plunged the world into deeper darkness recently. Yet it was not she who did this. I believe it was you. I shall hold Chronos to account for what has come to pass, but I am not without blame myself, for I fear that I made present matters worse. You shall see whether any such mistakes can be corrected.
I know such sweetness as this nectar is never to be taken for granted, Almighty Chaos. Please, it's yours. Wondrous creations such as this are only possible because of you.
Such gestures are unnecessary to the arrangement between us. If this is an act of supplication, then simply speak your mind, although I sense no deeper motive presently.
Surely you understand.
The Olympians often demand tribute from their worshippers, do they not? Their custom, perhaps, but not mine. I merely ask that you honor our arrangement in perpetuity, though neither shall I reject your offering. In retrospect, I ought not have permitted Chronos to speak with me, but he was persuasive. I still do not fully understand how you communicate. What you say is not always what you mean, and your intentions may be carefully veiled, so I pay closer notice now.
It's heartening to know that the origin of all existence also is a source of such limitless curiosity. Here's to finding great interest even in the simplest of things.
Substances such as this nectar, is it not interesting how they can be made, but not unmade? Everything in essence is itself. What your offering to me is truly unique in its own right, and I thank you for it. The act of creation is not always pristine. The residue of it you know as stardust, which retains some power over consciousness. Consider it an incentive to look upon the standing stone and undertake the trials you see there. When I've been exploring the surface of this world, where my influence is comparatively limited, I was amused to consider the possibilities, though I did anticipate you would return.
Such a strange journey your creations take, Almighty Chaos. This particular bottle, for instance, formed after untold eons, only to find its way back to you, inevitably or not.
I still possess some of the nectar that your brother once gave to me when he was dealing with a certain quandary of his. I think that I shall keep this offering close by to that. You follow in his path. It seemed to choose your own way. Recently, a daughter of Nyx entered my domain. Such is her likeness that I mistook her for her mother goddess at first, for many beings appear similar to me. I shall permit her here. You bear the embryo I gave to you. It creates an impression as though a part of me is with you, even whilst you are absent from this space. You may continue to make use of it, or not. I recognize the artifacts you bear. Their brother weapons of infernal origin drink deep the blood of titans and grow strong, as these, fate-forged servants of the underworld that thrive on pure nightmare itself.
Blast.
Perhaps the Fates desired this. The spark of Ixion brought you to me. An ember from the flame forever burning in the underworld. Its light reveals gateways into my abyss and relieves the common side effects of entering. I recommend continued use of it. Even the goddess Hestia has lent you her power. She typically has been content merely to stoke the little flames warming the hearts of mortal homes. But now those flames threaten to spread beyond even your control. The golden son of Zeus has given you his blessing, I see. Apollo was not always so willing to involve himself in your family's struggles. Perhaps the present matter gives him little choice.
Gotcha. I caught a Marty. It's something, all right.
Specimen procured. You have returned. Selene rides across the sky, and her attention she directs towards you. Perhaps she is wondering, what is the moon without night? And I suspect that she is capable in Nyx's absence. You bear the blessing of the king of the Olympians himself. I expected that he would have been too preoccupied to your direct assistance, although he does have a vested interest in your victory. The Olympians often speak of family, but I do not entirely understand what they mean. All beings have a common origin, yet are not considered family. Chronos, for example, is he family or not? I shall not ask you to respond. Does there remain a place for beauty and for objects of desire in a world such as this? The goddess Aphrodite must think so, and you work now as allies. I believe in a worthwhile cause. This world was born of a certain desire, after all. Does there remain a place for beauty and for objects of desire in a world such as this? The goddess Aphrodite must think so, and you work now as allies. I believe in a worthwhile cause. This world was born of a certain desire, after all. Fate's designs for us perhaps are intertwined, for we each seek our close kin. I have lost contact with my spawn and daughter Nyx, who resided in your father's house. Her influence remains, yet I feel her absence.
From nothingness sprang all creation, light and darkness, and the world itself. Yet all that nothingness remains, carefully tucked away where none can find it, save for those invited in.
Let's keep our voices down.
If Chronos holds the goddess Nyx as captive in your father's house, along with other members of her family and yours, then I would like for that to change. Perhaps he shall release them if you use sufficient violence. I believe that I am an impartial being, spawn of Hades. However, even I can be provoked, as Chronos soon shall come to realize. Our experiment concerns his fate. If he believes that he can change his fate, then so may we. have been visited by Lord Poseidon. The waters that he claims are his. They were among the first of my creations, and turned out rather well, I think. I wonder if he comprehends the extent of the power they conceal. I see you once again. Time, of course, did not always exist. Chronos provided a means of measuring the rate at which everything grew and changed or did not. It was quite useful by his very nature. But time can be a source of problems too, I know.
And caught. In you go, Marty. It's something.
An interesting specimen. Responsibility is partly mine for all that has transpired. I attempted to create this world with a degree of care. I nurtured it, adhered to certain principles as might a mother and father, for I created them too. But this world is no longer young. It persists now by its own whim. The goddess Demeter is set for war, and lends to you her wrathful strength. The mother of your mother has experience fighting titans, her predecessors. You all have grown so numerous that very little common ground remains. Return now whence you came.
Some darkness.
We have eternity to conduct our experiment. I am unconvinced as to whether the results shall come more quickly with the haste of Hermes benefiting you. That is another facet to explore.